Hi, welcome back everyone. So what we're going to do today is some fun Christmas cupcakes. So we're going to do 4 different designs, and what we're going to do today is red velvet with cream cheese, gingerbread with caramel, chocolate with chocolate, and yellow with vanilla. So the first one that we're going to do is red velvet with cream cheese, which is a fan favorite. And then we're going to add a little fondant Christmas tree on top. So I already filled my piping bag. If you need to know how to do that, we do have a video in the links. So you can watch that to know how to fill a piping bag. There's also a video of how to pipe on a cupcake, so that will help you with this process too. So I'm going to go straight up and down. And I just have my cream cheese, it's already coming out, in a round tip. And I'm just going to do a basic swirl, nice tight swirl. I'm going to put that aside and now get my fondant stuff out. So I have, let me get all my things. I have a little impression mat that we're going to add to the green fondant for the tree. I have a little Christmas tree cookie cutter and a star. And then, let me move this actual Christmas tree. I have green fondant and yellow fondant, and that's all we really need for this. So, and a rolling pin. And the last item that we're going to use is some cornstarch. So I have a small ball of green fondant, and I'm just going to knead it onto the table so I get some nice smooth fondant. So I don't need that much of it because I'm just going to make that single Christmas tree. And then I'm going to tap some cornstarch onto the table. Anytime you roll out anything flat on the table, you want to use cornstarch so it doesn't stick. All right, and I want to roll this out pretty thin. I usually do a couple millimeters thickness. And then what I want to do before I cut out my shape, I want to add some texture to the tree. So you can use like a swirly pattern, you can use all these different types of texture mats just to give it a little bit more interest, although you don't have to. So I'm just going to put this right on top and then use my rolling pin and just smush it on there like so. Put that to the side. So it has these like little line indents. And then when I cut out my tree, I'm going to cut it out so the lines are going at an angle, like a diagonal angle. And then that way I just think it's more interesting than going straight up or down or horizontal. So just a little bit of this golden yellow. If you use a more of a golden yellow, I think it looks a little bit nicer than like a pure bright yellow. So I want to roll this out super thin, even thinner, I think, than the tree would be good. And then my little star cookie cutter, I try to find the smallest star that I have, just so it looks appropriate to the size of the tree. Then I cut it out, and the other tool I forgot to mention, you just want something to gently poke out the star. You don't want to use anything with a point to it, so I use the butt end of this little pencil tool. So normally we would use edible glue to put these two pieces together, but because this is so small, it really will just stick on its own to the top of the tree, like so. So what you just want to do is stick it right on top. And as long as your buttercream is still soft, for this case the cream cheese with the powdered sugar, it tends to get a crust after several minutes, so you would just want to put fondant decorations on right away. And the same goes with sprinkles as well. But that doesn't really apply to the Italian Meringue Buttercream because that stays soft, you know, for as long as you want to use it. And if you want to see how we make our Italian Meringue Buttercream, we'll be using that shortly. We also have links that show you how to do that. Okay, So for our next cupcake, we got a yellow cupcake, and we're gonna put some vanilla Italian meringue buttercream on it. And I have it in a round tip bag, or a round tip rather. And that's because I want this to be as flat as possible. What we're gonna do after we put buttercream on is use some melted dark chocolate in a kind of like a swirly fashion to look like a string of lights, and the lights will be some M&Ms. So you just hold the bag again, straight up and down, and just do the basic buttercream swirl like so. Now for this next part, you just want to heat up some dark chocolate, and you just want to cut a bag with a small hole. So if it was too big, it's going to look too thick, and if it's really, really small, it's going to look a little too squiggly. So I just want to find the perfect size, and we're just going to gently squeeze the bag and make a little rope of chocolate. And I even have it hanging off the edge of the buttercream. That looks fine. So now it looks a little weird without anything on it, but it's all about context. So what we're gonna do is get some M&Ms, and let's get all the colors. And we're gonna put these in sideways so that way they look more flat and more like lights. And just put them in every which way on the string. And then you just want to push them in a little bit. There. That looks really cute. Really fun to make as well. So for our next cupcake, we're going to use gingerbread with some caramel. I use just a closed-in star tip or a rosette tip for this. It doesn't really matter which tip you use. I just want to keep it, have a nice variety. And then we have some little gingerbread men in this bowl, and a bag of white royal icing with a very small tip. We also have videos of how to make the royal icing, so check that out too if you don't know. So I have my cupcake and my bag of caramel buttercream. And again, I'm just going to go straight up and down, make a nice swirl. So that's a nice, really nice rosette, but we're going to cover it up with a cute little gingerbread man. So I'm just selecting one from the bowl here. And you could just add it on like that, and that looks really cute. Or you can dress them up a little bit. And using the white royal icing, I'm going to do 2 eyes. And a smile. And then the little squiggly bits on his arms and feet, or legs, I guess. And then 3 dots for buttons. And then simply put him on top. I usually try to cover up my tail of my little rosette. So it looks nice and neat. So super quick and easy, and it looks very, very adorable. All right, so for our last one, we're gonna do a chocolate cupcake with chocolate buttercream, and we're gonna make it look like a reindeer. So for this one, there is a lot of ingredients that you need, but it's usually stuff that you might already have in the house, or stuff that's like super easy to find at the grocery store. So the first thing is that we have our chocolate cupcake, and then chocolate buttercream in a round tip. Doesn't really matter the size. I just do round so it's nice and smooth. And stir it up and down like we've been doing. Nice basic swirl. If it comes out a little bit messy, that's fine, because we're going to be adding a Nilla wafer on top. So you just want to select the best Nilla wafer in the bag, because sometimes they get a little broken up and stuff. So just find a nice round one. And then you're just going to stick it slightly off to the side like that. This is going to be the reindeer's face. The next thing is that we're going to get some mini pretzels, and these are going to be the antlers. So you just want to find ones that are complete and not broken. And then just stick them on either side on top of the Nilla wafer. So you can see where it's going now. It's very exciting. And then we're gonna get 2 mini marshmallows. These are gonna be the eyes. And you probably don't have this at home, but these are really good to get if you're gonna do cake decorating. It's an edible marker, so it's just a food coloring and a felt tip marker. And what I'm gonna do is do 2 black dots on top of the marshmallow. And you wanna make sure that the eyes are fairly even. You could make them a little uneven, makes it a little funny, like googly eyes. That's what they remind me of. And place them right on top. Okay, so for the last part, we're gonna use the royal icing again and the M&Ms again. So usually for the ones that we make for orders or for the store, we select either red or brown. So red for Rudolph and brown for the regular reindeer. You could get creative and use orange and blue and other things and make up a weird story about why they have weird colored noses, but we find that people like to stick with the originals. So with a little bit of royal icing, just make a little dab of it, and I'm gonna make Rudolph because I'm in a spirited mood. And that's all it is to make a reindeer cupcake. So once you get all the ingredients, you can make quite a few of these, and they're very, very popular with the kids and adults too. Pretty much everyone loves these. They're very adorable. All right, so that was really fun to do, and I'm sure if you have like a party coming up, this would be a really great idea to do with the kids or to have at your next Christmas party. So if you really like doing this, be sure to check out our gingerbread house making tutorial, and as well as our other tutorials for cakes and cupcakes. And don't forget to like and subscribe our page as well.